Hello, everyone. Welcome to our Follow the Farmers beef offering today. We welcome you here. My name is Larissa Peich with Agriculture in the Classroom, Manitoba, and I'm very excited to have you back with us today. Teachers and students, please take a moment to say hi in the chat. We want to know where in Manitoba you're joining from and from what school. The number of students involved in this Farm Tour program continues to grow, and currently we have just over 3,700 students, just like you, participating from across Manitoba. Over 2 seasons of Follow the Farmers, we have been able to bring students behind the barn doors on a dairy farm, a hog farm, a sheep farm. Students have had the opportunity to learn about how weather affects the farm, about wheat farming and canola farming. And today we are going to learn about beef. We're very excited to have you here. Today we are streaming once again on both our Agriculture in the Classroom YouTube channel and Facebook page. As a reminder to teachers, make sure that you are logged in on your YouTube account if you want to post questions in there during the event. After the farm tour, as always, we will have our question and answer period with our farmer. Andre is very excited to answer all of your questions, students, so keep firing them at him. After the Q&A period, we ask that you stick around. We are going to be playing a fun Kahoot game, and students, you'll have the chance to test your knowledge on what you learned today and compete against other classrooms across the province. Teachers, a reminder, if you haven't already, to have your device ready, whether you plan to lead it from the front of the classroom or for students to play in teams. Just make sure that you are logged into kahoot.it. And then when the time comes, we will give you the game pin code to put in to play. Now I'd like to tell you a little bit about our farmer that is joining us today. Andre owns and operates Steppler Farms with his wife, Katie, and 3 kids, Bryn, Braden, and Declan, just outside of Miami, Manitoba. You will see some of them in the video, or actually all of them in the video, I should say. Steppler Farms is a 3rd-generation farm and will be celebrating 102 years in agriculture. That is absolutely amazing. Andre's main focus is beef cattle, with over 500 cows calving each year. The calves are raised up and sold as breeding stock all over Canada and even into the United States. It's really important to the Stepplers to be able to share their farming story with you all today. And Andre looks forward to your questions being peppered at him after the video. So let's bring in Andre to meet all of you. Hi, Andre.
Hello, everyone. How are you guys doing today?
I think they're doing well. It's a little bit cloudy out there, but we all know spring's coming eventually, right?
Yes, isn't that the truth?
All right. Well, thanks for joining us today, Andre. We're really excited to bring everyone to your farm. And without further ado, let's go head over to Miami, Manitoba and visit the Steppler farm.
Hi everyone, welcome to our farm. I'm Andre Steppler, this is my wife Katie, my daughter Bryn, and my 2 sons, Braden and Declan. And we are located at Miami, Manitoba, and we manage 600 beef cows, and we'd love to take you and tour you around. This year we're celebrating 102 years farming. My wife and I are the 3rd-generation farmers, and these kids will be the 4th. You'll notice behind me that there's all sorts of different colors to these cows. You can have white cows, brown cows, red cows, or all sorts of different combinations. And usually what that means is what breed they are. The white cows are Charolais, the black ones are Black Angus or Simmental, and the red ones are either Hereford, Red Angus, or Simmentals. Each one of our cows has 3 ways we identify her. She has a tag here, we call it a dangle tag, which gives her a number, her dad's on it, and her mom's on it. And then up top here is her Canadian tag, which is a CCIA tag or RFID tag, and that has an electronic chip in it so that we just have to scan it and we know exactly who she is. For the RFID tag, we put it in an applicator and we put it in her ear. It pierces it, just like you guys getting your ears pierced, and it doesn't hurt. And then on our purebred cows, each one of them has a tattoo that is put into the ear, just probably like your dog at home. We have all sorts of different terminology when we talk about cows. So to be a cow, you have to be a female that has had a calf or is over 2 years of age. So this is a cow. Of course, we have heifers. This is a little heifer calf. So she's a heifer until she's 2 years old. And of course, if you're a boy cow, you're called a bull, and you're a bull all the way through your life. There's no difference in there. We start to call a heifer a cow after she's had her calf. This little guy takes 9 months to grow inside his mom's tummy, so just like us humans. When they come out, they're anywhere from 80 to 100 pounds, so like a great big dog. If you guys have a big St. Bernard, about that size. This is one of our little baby calves. So this little girl, her number is 601, and she's about a week old. And this is her mom here. She just come up to say hello to me, but she will nurse milk from her mom for about 260 days, 280 days. And that's her job for those periods of time, is to look after this little one. The calves in behind me here, they're actually getting what we call as a supplement feed. They need a little bit more nutrition than what mom can provide them, so we give them just a little bit more. The pellets are a mixture of energy, protein, vitamins, and minerals, and the best part is that it's mostly byproducts, a product that we can't use as humans. The calves will grow up and they'll turn into 500 to 600 weight calves, and then at that time, it's like they go off to school and we wean them and bring them into our main facility. They grow up to be a cow that's probably up into that 15 to 1,800 pounds. These beef cows are one of the most adaptable animals that we have in this area. They have to live outside in the summertime, so they'll lose all their winter hair and they'll slick off, so they can live in an environment that's up to plus 30. And then in the wintertime, they grow a real thick hair coat, which will help them survive outside when it's minus 30. So it's really truly an amazing animal. This is what cows eat most of their life. This is grass. This is a product that we can't eat, and the only reason why cows can do it is because they have poor stomachs. So the cow is gonna eat this, put it into her stomach, and then she's actually gonna regurgitate it back up, and then she chews it all day the next day. And then there's little microbes that will break that down in her stomach, and then that's how she gets food. And then of course, what goes in must come out. So then a cow, as she's grazing the prairies, she'll actually poop and put the nutrition back onto the land, and it will start all over again, feeding the grass to grow up nice and strong. In the wintertime, cows can't graze, so what we do is we have to make feed for them. We cut grass, we dry it down, and we put it into a bale, either a square bale or a round bale, and then every day we go out and we give them new feed for them to eat. An adult cow will eat up to 60 pounds a day of grass or hay, and then she will drink 10 gallons of water a day. This is what we call a wetland. This is a water retention pond where we get to provide a natural habitat for all the wildlife here. And then the best part for the cattle is this is their clean drinking water source. So the cattle are fenced out, and what we do is we pump the water down to a trough that's on the other side, and they get nice clean water, and all the habitat gets a nice clean environment. Another practice we do on our farm is we rotate our cows around the pastures. So what we do is we give them one spot, they graze it all off, and then we move them to the next one where there's nice green grass. This is just what the buffalo would do. They'd stay in one area, graze it right down, and then move to greener grass in another area, allowing that previous grass to regrow for them to come back later on. These cows will eat grass that we cannot eat, and then they turn it into protein, which we eat as steaks, hamburger, sausages, roasts, and many more.
Protein is a really important part of our diets, and beef is a really good source of protein. That's why beef is included in the protein part of the Canada Food Guide. We all need protein in our diets because it helps build strong muscles and bones, helps with wound healing, and gives us lots of energy. An easy way to remember the nutrients that beef provides to us is to think of ZIP, zinc, iron, and protein.
To keep a cow herd like this, as healthy as it is, we rely on a lot of different occupations. We have nutritionists, we have vets, we have vet techs, we got people that come and drive tractors for us, we got people that will grow our crop for us, harvest our crop for us. It takes a huge community to keep a cow herd healthy. Thanks for coming to our farm.
Andre, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Summer feels like a long time ago, doesn't it?
Isn't that the truth? Isn't that the truth?
I'm sure your cattle are getting antsy to get out onto those green fields and eat that fresh grass.
You bet. They're just the same as us. They look forward to summertime to get out and play and eat the grass and keep on growing from there.
Yeah, I bet. So I forgot to ask you earlier, Andre, do you mind sharing with the students watching where you're streaming in from? What's going on behind you here?
Yeah, right on. This is what we call our sales barn. So this is where we sell a whole bunch of our cattle every year. And then I thought I'd bring in two of the young chaps that we actually sold in our bull sale earlier this year, just for you guys to see them. So we got a red one, we got a Senegal bull. His name is Ariat. This is this guy right here. And then this is one of my daughters and boys' show bull, and that's High Class. So they're here to show themselves off and let you guys see some live animals. Here's High Class. Say hello.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for bringing them in for everyone to see. That's great.
You bet.
Perfect. All right. So we, as always, have some questions from some of the students for you. And we're going to start off with a few questions that came in before the event today. So are you ready to roll?
You bet.
Okay. So Nora, a grade 2 student from Laura Secord School, is wondering, do cows ever have twins?
Yes, cows do have twins, and sometimes they have triplets, but it's not very common. So in our cow herd, we'll have about 20 sets of twins a year. And that, I feel like that's a lot, but cows aren't really made to raise two. So sometimes we struggle with them just a little bit to actually want them to look after both calves. And some cows do. If we do get in a situation where a cow doesn't want the second one, then that's when we step in as farmers, and then we actually look after the calves themselves. So we pull out one of these trusty things right here, a calf bottle. So it's probably a lot bigger than what you guys are used to seeing at home, but we feed the calf 3 times a day, and then we look after him until he's able to look after himself on his own.
Okay. And how many liters of milk go in one of those bottles there? How many liters would a calf drink a day, over 3 feedings?
Yeah. So he would probably be close to about 6 to 7 liters of milk a day is what he or she would take. Yep.
Okay. So almost over 3 of those big 2-liter jugs. Wow.
3 of them for sure. Yep. And he probably would take more if you let him, but 3's lots.
Well, I'm sure it's pretty tasty.
Yeah.
Awesome. And then at what phase do you start incorporating other things into the calf's diet other than just milk?
Yeah, so if the calf is out born on grass, he'll actually start eating grass and straw and stuff like that probably when he's about 2 weeks old, just start to develop his rumen up. But he actually can't live off the nutrition yet until he's about 3 to 4 months old. So that's where his mom comes in. He's very dependent on her to supply the nutrition for him.
Yeah. Okay. Awesome. Thanks, Andre. All right. Let's bring in a second question here. This one comes from Quinn, grade 4 student at Ecole Springfield Heights. And Quinn was wondering, do your cows have a barn that they go into when it's cold outside, kind of like a day like today?
Yeah, good question. Today we have a storm. So it is one of the days that a lot of people wonder, how are the cows making out during the colder weather? But all the cows are designed to have a winter coat on them. So every one of these individuals have a real thick coat on them. It's just like you putting on your parka every morning so they don't feel the cold. When it gets warm outside, of course, they're designed to let go of all that hair, just like how your guys' dogs would shed their hair for the summertime. So then he or she has the opportunity to cool off. And then, of course, in the video, we mentioned that the cows have a rumen. And that rumen is one of the stomachs, and that's full of a whole bunch of product that actually ferments in there and creates heat. So all these cows will have their own little heater going in their body to keep them warm. A day like today, we let all the little calves into a barn where the cows can't get in, so they're nice and protected. And believe me, all they do all day is play in that area.
That's awesome. Now, notice on the kind of the red bull behind you that it looks almost, is he already starting to shed some of his winter coat?
Yeah. we were supposed to have spring a long time ago, right? Everyone,
Yeah.
like we were supposed to have, we were supposed to be, we were supposed to be out putting seeds in the ground. But so yeah, he's going to start losing his hair mostly right there between his front shoulder is where they'll start, and then they'll get into some trees and scratch the rest of it off.
Okay, that was my next question. Do they do anything to help themselves get it off? So they scratch against trees and other things out in the field to kind of wear it off themselves a little bit?
You bet, and scratch on each other. Like they're always playing and tussling around, and they'll take a lot of it off.
Ah, interesting. Thanks, Andre. Okay, we'll move into our third pre-question here. This one comes from Colin, grade 5 homeschool student. And he was wondering, do you grow anything on your own farm for your cattle to eat?
Yeah, we grow just about everything on our farm to feed the cows. So with quite a few cows that we have here, we probably feed about 1,200 cows a day with cows and bulls and steers and young stock. So we have to put up a lot of feed. So what we do is we actually feed them corn silage. So it's we grow the plant up nice and big and tall. We let it get to a certain age, and then we bring in a processor to actually. My guy wants to go outside. Bring in a processor, and we chop that corn all up, and then we pack it in. We put it in the yard. We pack it in a great big pile, and it thiles. So it turns actually into a product that gets preserved. And then this, if I can do my so this is actually the product that will feed the mature cows every day. So there's corn silage in here, so you can see this little corn kernel. So that's of course from the cob, and then we mix in some straw and some vitamins and minerals and a little bit of protein to make a nice balanced ration for them. Just like your guys' food guide, we got to make sure that they're fed all that healthy stuff.
Yeah, for sure. And I'm sure they love that. It sounds kind of tasty for a cow, I think.
It sounds tasty, but it does smell pretty strong. It has a very strong smell to it.
How would you describe the smell to kids?
It's a high acid smell. And it's a very sharp smell. So like kind of like if you smelt a whole bunch of lemons, that's probably what that would be the closest to.
Ah, interesting. I'm learning something new too. Cool. All right, so that takes care, Andre, of our first intro questions. Are you ready to dive into the live feed and see what these students have for you?
Yeah, you bet.
Oh, we already have one up. Carissa Kirkup's class. They're wondering, why do you need all 3 things for every cow? The tag, the tattoo, etc.
Yeah. We have all 3 things for the cow because we all have different requirements for knowing who she is and how she works in the herd. So tattoos we can't see every day, right? We have to really get close in there. So that's why we need the tag on the cow, the dangle tag, so that we can see and tell who she is without getting too close to her. And then that ID tag, that the small button one, that the CFIA tag, that's actually our government regulated tag. And that one helps us so that if there was a disease outbreak or something where we had to really pinpoint where that cow has been at a certain period of time, that will tell us where she come from. And that's a start for the traceability. So that's why we have the 3 things. If she's not a purebred individual, she wouldn't have the tattoo, of course. But most of them just have the dangle tag, and then all of them have to have that CFIA tag.
Okay. Very cool. Thanks, Carissa. Good job, students. All right, Jocelyn Moeller. I know this teacher is from my kids' school. Hi, Jocelyn. And hi, students. Their class is wondering, how many calves does a cow have on average in a lifetime?
Yeah, so an old cow would be considered 15 years old, right? And then a cow, she won't have her calf until she's 2 years old. So, and then every year after that, she should have 1 calf every year. So most cows make it to about 7 to 10 years of age before they carry on. So most cows will have that 7 to 8 to 9 calves in her lifetime.
Okay, interesting. And do you mind me asking, Andre, how many sets of twins have you had this year so far?
This year we've had about 26. I think it's the number now. Yeah.
Wow. That's a lot. Lots extra care on your end for those cows.
Yes, it's definitely enough. There's no doubt about it.
Thanks, Ms. Muller's class. All right, so this one comes in from Shaylin Johnson. And They are wondering, are cows dangerous, and have you ever been injured by one?
Yeah. So yes, cows are dangerous. And it's because it's because they're so big and they're heavy. So like if one was to step on you or something like that, like both these guys weigh about 14 to 1500 pounds each.
Wow.
So, if they stepped on your toe, you're probably going to break it, right? So even though the cow didn't mean to hurt you, the opportunity is there. And then of course, these cows, my bull's going to do a breakaway here, so I'm just maybe going to let him out. But these cows, they always want to be in a herd, and when they're in a herd situation, they're not tamed animals, right? They're still livestock that want to be with other individuals. So we have to watch that just a little bit too, that we don't make them uncomfortable. And of course, whenever a mom with their cow has a baby calf, she wants to protect it, right? So she wants to make sure that that baby calf is safe at all times. And there are some cows that don't appreciate me being close to them, right?
Okay.
Sometimes we do have to get close to those cows at that time. Then we just have to really be careful on how we do it. And yes, unfortunately, I'd have to say I've been injured by several cows in my lifetime. So it's something you have to be very careful about. There's no doubt.
Yeah, respecting their space and just working safely around them for sure.
Yes. Yep.
Especially when you're dealing with hundreds of them.
You bet. You bet.
Thanks, Andre. All right, let's see what we have next. Oh, another question from same class, it looks like. Do you and your family eat your own beef products? This is from Thomas. He's a grade 6 student from Nipoa.
Yes, you bet. We take quite a bit of pride in producing a really high quality product for the food for our kids and for people to eat, and so of course we love our steaks. So we eat a lot of steaks, and then there's no doubt about it, we eat a lot of hamburger because we like our burgers, we like our barbecue, and it's a great nutritional source for our family. And since we own the cows, we also it's quite economical for us to eat beef as well.
Yep, absolutely. Hey kids, groceries are very expensive, so it's good that they're able to eat what you raise. It's awesome. All right, Elaine Owen. This one sounds familiar, eh, Andre? Out in your neck of the woods there?
Yeah, you bet. That's one of our teachers in Miami here. Hi, Elaine, and all you
awesome.
Kids watching. So of course my kids helped clean the barns. That is one of their jobs. Bryn, of course, spent all day cleaning the other side of this barn out for me, getting ready for another function. And then, it doesn't stop there. Like we do use our kids quite a bit to herd cattle, to move the cattle, to process cattle through chutes. To be honest too, it's my kids who bottle feed twins. I can't take credit that I look after the twin calves. So that's something that they do, and they look after them as well. So yes, our kids do a lot on the farm. There's no doubt. And the best thing is I don't really have to pay them very much.
Hey, good deal both ways.
Yeah.
I remember when we were out on your farm shooting the video, being amazed at how involved your three were. They just seemed so confident in handling the cattle, and obviously you've taught them well, and they know how to do it in the proper way with the cows. That's great.
Yeah, you bet.
Thanks, Elaine. All right, another one here from Miss Johnson. How many pounds of ground beef can a cow produce?
Yeah, so that's a great question. So if a cow weighs 1,500 pounds when we call it live weight, so when she's walking around, when we harvest that individual, the carcass of the animal will weigh about half of what her live weight is. So if she's 1,500 pounds, the carcass will weigh about 750 pounds. And then on that carcass, 60% of that will actually be meat that we'll use. So 60% of 750 is over about 400 pounds of ground beef.
Wow. Okay, I didn't even know that. Great question. Thanks, Andre. Another question from Chris's class here. How many calves are born every year in Manitoba? I don't know if do you have that one to pull out there, Andre?
I should have that answer because I'm on the beef board for the provincial organizations, and we do know how many. There's 6,500 beef producers in Manitoba, And then the average cow herd probably is in that 60 to 70 cows each farm. So whatever the math is there. So it's quite substantial anyways. Yes.
So what do you say? I have my calculator here. You said 6,500 times about, you said how much
50,
each?
50 to 60 on average.
Okay, we'll go 60. All right, so it's about 390,000.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, lots of baby calves, and a lot of them actually be born at this time of the year. We calve in the wintertime, so it's we kind of fight Mother Nature a little bit, but most of the cattle are actually born in April and May. So there's a lot of calves being born today, that's for sure.
Yeah. And are they born at any other times of year, or do you, as the farmer, kind of help control that a little bit so that it's within that certain time of year?
Yeah, so cows can have a calf any day of the year. They're not dependent on weather or time of the season like a deer would be. So there's calves being born all the time. Yeah.
Okay. And I was showing your video to my kids the other day, and my daughter Quinn was also wondering, we were just chatting back and forth, and she was wondering, on your farm, obviously taking care of your herd and your cattle takes a lot of your time, but you also mentioned that there's a lot of crops that you grow that also help feed your cattle. So how do you have the time to do it all? Or do you have people that help you, or how?
Yeah. So we have lots of people that help us do quite a few of the jobs. The reality is you just can't do it all yourself, right? So I have a herdsman that we have hired. So he's the guy that works full time on the farm. His main job is to feed cows, to also look at cows for health checks to make sure everybody's healthy, and then everyday working. So if there's a piece of equipment that goes down, he's there to help. And then of course, if we, in different scenarios, like different jobs that we have to do, like if we start getting ready for the sale, we actually pull in a management group that comes in and helps us. We have an auctioneer, we have ring guys, we have clerks, we bring in contract individuals all throughout the year to help us with those individual jobs. Another example would be the silage crew would come in and process all our feed that comes in, and they're hired to help us do it. Okay.
So a lot of people to help with.
Yes.
Okay, so I'm going to dive in and see if we have any more questions at this time to bring in. Oh, there's one here. Carissa. I love that you are also involved. That's great. Teachers, keep sending in more questions. They are wondering, where do cows live? So I know that you mentioned, obviously we saw in the video that they're outside on the fields.
Yeah. So in the summertime, of course, they're out in the grasslands and they're out in the pastures. So when you guys are driving down the roads, you'll see them out and about in those environments. And that's their natural environment. That's kind of like the same as the buffalo. And then if I can do this, I'll actually just walk back this way and I'll show you where the cows are. You'll see my buddies here. They're scratching on our chute here. They were supposed to go outside, but they didn't. But so then this is what we call a feedlot. So if you guys see way in the back.
Yeah, we can see.
That's all you can see. We're not storming near as much as we were this morning either, but so each one of them there's about 50 or 60 each in a pen, and we provide them lots of area. We provide them shelter from the wind over here, and of course we have a straw pack that is virtually their bed for them every night. And then we feed them along this feed bunk on this side. So you'll see some of these guys all eating their food that is provided to them there. And these guys, yes, they are in a pen, but if we opened it all up, they'd all be back in there because they know they got lots of food, they got nice clean water, and they're protected from the environment. But believe me, they want to go out to grass just as much as I want them to go out to grass.
Yeah, absolutely. Is there anything in your space here, Andre, that you want to tell the students about or show them while we're in here with you?
Yeah, I definitely can. I could actually show you what we do with the chute system. I'm gonna have to kick my boys out because they're making a mess of stuff. See, that's him playing over in the corner when he's not supposed to be doing that. But so this is what we call a hydraulic chute here. So this is how if we have to help somebody because they're maybe a little bit sick or something like that.
Yeah.
And we have to bring them in. So what we do is we actually put them into this system, and it's a nice safe system for us and the bulls and the animals. And they come through this system all the way up here. They stand up, coming in one at a time. And then this is actually the head gate system. So this is where we're able to catch them by their head, keep them nice and still. And then that's when we evaluate them if they do need a little bit of help and that type of stuff. So it's all designed so that they don't get scared and we're nice and safe. And then we can also do what we need to do to the animal to keep them nice, safe, and healthy.
Okay. And is that something that you and your staff do on your own, Andre, or you bring in vets to help, or does it kind of depend on what's going on with the cow?
Yeah. So I would say almost all the stuff we do ourselves. That's one thing about beef producers. And when we're out with the cattle, we have to get trained ourselves to be able to know who's sick and who's not sick, how to treat them, how to diagnose them and stuff like that. So we do all that ourselves. But there are the rare occasions where we do need to get that specialty help, and we pull in a vet to help with the birth of an animal. That's quite difficult, or evaluations on animals too, that we need professional help to just tell us exactly what's going on. So yeah, we do pull in help. There's no doubt.
Wow. So there's definitely a lot involved and a lot of knowledge that you as a producer need to care for them in all different aspects.
For sure.
Okay. All right, we have another question here for you, Andre, from Elaine's class. They're wondering, do you have to hand milk cows to help feed the calves? So I guess in one of those twin situations, do you do any hand milking for those bottles?
Yes, for sure. So each calf, when they're born, or each animal, when they're actually born, they need something called colostrum. And that's the very first feeding for a mammal. And why a colostrum is so important is because that's what gives all those that animal its immunity to fight off bugs and bacteria and be able to strive in an environment, right? So if he doesn't get colostrum, he has a really tough time to survive for the rest of his life. So there's times where we have to step in as farmers and help a calf get that colostrum. And there's nothing better for that calf than its mom's colostrum, because she has throughout all her life, she'll get immunity from different bacteria and bugs that were specific to our environment and even specific to our farm. So we want to make sure that first milk is from its own mother, and then we do feed it to the calf if he can't do it himself. So to be honest, I hand milked a cow this morning. So so definitely you have to do that once in a while.
Okay, I didn't realize that it was that frequent that you had to bottle feed. But I guess when you have a herd of that size, you get a lot of sets of twins like you did this year.
Yeah, and then if a calf gets cold or something like that, or injured of some sort, and they just can't get up and do what they need to be doing, that's definitely when we have to step in.
Yeah.
All
right, another question here for you. How many cow shows have you been to? I know that you actually host a lot of the cow shows in your facility there, right? So can you talk a little bit about that, Andre?
Yeah, we've probably been to 50, 60, 70 more shows. It's something that we do to promote our product in the purebred industry, of taking our elite animals and taking them out to show. I don't know if any of you guys were at Brandon Winter Fair just recently over spring break. We had a set of cows there, and then there was a cow over in the corner with a baby calf, and that was ours as well too. It's a great time for us to connect with people in our industry as well too. It's fun. It's a competition, and of course our kids show. My daughter Bryn shows all my elite cattle for me. She's already better than me showing cattle. So she's the one on the halter, and we go and make a weekend of it for sure.
Oh, that's awesome. So you said it was a competition. How did things go for you this year? Any prizes?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, we did really well. So Bryn actually won overall female at the show. So that was quite a feat for her. And then Braden actually was second with his heifer. So they did very well.
Oh, that's great. Perfect. All right. So I don't know if there's any more questions to come in at this point. I was just wondering, Andre, how many more sets of calves are you expecting for the spring?
We should be done, but
Should be done?
we should have been done, but there's still 10 more to come. So
Okay.
so we still have a small pen now of cows that we're watching. Days like today, we have to really watch to make sure that they don't get cold stressed, but we have 10 more to come.
Okay, so be quite busy for the next little bit still yet. And
Yeah,
throughout
yeah.
summer. You're never not busy, it seems.
Yeah, that's very true.
Awesome. Well, I think that's it for the live questions, Andre. Thank you so much for answering them all so well. I know
Right on. Thank you.
learned a lot from you.
Thank you for coming, everybody, and we're glad that we could share our experience with you. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah, so we're not going to say goodbye to you yet, but we are going to pull you out for a bit, and we're going to move on into the Kahoot game. So we'll see you soon, Andre.
Right on.
All right, so teachers and students, thank you so much for all your questions. And we hope many of you are still online to test your knowledge with our Kahoot games. So if you haven't already, you want to log into kahoot.it, so kahoot.it, and we are going to work through some questions from what you learned in the farm tour video and from Andre. So let's test your knowledge. Put in your team name or the teacher's class that you're joining with, and let's have some fun. All right. Good job, students. That was awesome. Congratulations, Mr. Sidlowski. All right. So while we were doing that, Andre, the kids did pretty good, I think. What do you think?
Yeah, they did really good. Yeah, good job, guys.
While we were playing the Kahoot, Andre, we had 3 more questions come in. Do you mind if we fire those at you?
No, yeah, for sure.
Awesome. So Nadine Tremblay is wondering, how big is your herd? So currently, what are your herd numbers?
Yeah. So we always talk about how big the cow herd is by how many breeding cows there are or mature cows, and depends on the year, but we're anywhere from 500 to 600 cows. But if we want to count absolutely every head or each animal, there would be about 11 to 1,200 head that would be part of Steppler Farms.
Wow. Amazing. Good question. Elaine, She's back in action. Have you had any triplets this year? Her class is wondering.
We have not had any triplets this year, but we've had 3 sets of triplets over the last 8 years or so. So we actually had our last set of triplets was last fall. So yeah, it does happen more than we think it should. That's for sure.
Yeah. Wow. Crazy. Thanks, Ms. Owen's class. All right, Nadine's class. How old can a cow live to be?
I think the Guinness Book of World Records of a cow is 27 years old or something like that. Like, if I remember that correctly. I know of one cow that made it to about 21, 22 years of age, and it was actually my sister-in-law's cow. So I know for sure that has happened because I've seen that cow. The oldest cow we've ever had was 17.
Okay. I didn't know that. Interesting. Okay. Good questions, everyone. Thank you so much, Andre, for providing your knowledge and teaching the kids.
Right on. Yeah, I appreciate you guys having us. And when you're driving around out in the country, look to see some beef cows. That's for sure.
Amazing. Thanks, Andre. And thanks to your kids and to your wife for bringing us onto the farm and for providing safe, healthy food for all of us to eat and teaching us a little bit more about beef farming today.
Right on. Thanks for having us.
Thank you. All right, everyone. We hope you all had a fun day today learning about beef farming in Manitoba. Teachers, be sure to go onto your dashboard page. There you'll find our Beef It Up activity booklet for you to print off and have your students work through. It's a really fun booklet that has crosswords and puzzles and even some jokes sprinkled in for the students to test their knowledge on what they learned today. We will also be putting the Kahoot game link up there as well if you want to play it again with your students. A recording of today's tour, as always, will also be included on that teacher dashboard page. We'll have both the farm tour itself and the live event recording with the Q&A available up there for any teachers that weren't able to attend live today. I would love to give a huge shout out to Manitoba Beef Producers, our partner who came on and helped sponsor this event. Thank you so much for your partnership. Thank you again to Penner Farm Services for helping make these farm tours come to life. To date, you have helped provide virtual learning on 7 different Manitoba agriculture topics, connecting students to where their food comes from and the hands that grow it. So thank you very, very much. Andre, I know you're not here anymore, but thank you again for bringing us onto your farm. It's just so evident how much you care for your animals, how passionate you are about providing healthy food for us. And we are very thankful that all of these students tuning in today and others across Manitoba had the opportunity to learn from you. And thank you so much for bringing us onto your farm. We are at the end of season 2, everyone. And this is our last event for the school year. Thank you so much for joining us, but do keep an eye out because Follow Farmers is coming back for season 3. And next school year, we'll be learning about turkey, soybeans, and potatoes. And registration will open up in the fall for the new season. Teachers, if you are not a member of our Teacher e-News, I encourage you to sign up because you will get updates from us on anything new that we're doing, whether it's programming or resources, and it keeps you in the know of all of the great learning things that we would love to provide to you and your students. Thank you, everyone, for attending today. We hope you learned something new about beef and have a great rest of the week. We'll see you soon.